Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. And today I'm super excited to show you how can you use ChatGPT to create an amazing comic, right? And I'm going to show you in 3 simple steps on how to do that, and also share you the prompt that I used to create these samples. I'm Archie. If you're first time here, please do consider subscribing, and let's get it. Now, the first sample that I have is a very simple story about a kid who is looking for someone to play with them, but everyone is too busy with their phones, so nobody can play with them. Again, these are the 3 different images that I've just put together on Canva to showcase that. Second image is something that I wanted to try a Disney style format where a duck is lost and they find a boy and they try to bring a great friendship. Again, literally just took me one prompt that can do all these things. And finally, I created something dark, kind of like simply it shows, okay, a kid is lost, but nobody's paying attention to him. And finally, he is in the city at night alone, sitting on the street. So again, all 3 genres covered. You have something sad, you have something funny, you have something dark, right? And obviously you can utilize it for creating anything else that you want. Now we're going to break this tutorial down in 3 steps. Step number 1 is I'm going to actually show you a sample that I just created, but help you understand how ChatGPT will create each image. Number 2, I'm going to showcase you the prompt that I used and also share that with you in the description so that you can go ahead and create your own ChatGPT comics and share that with everyone and give me a like. And third step is going to be, we are going to try a couple of samples to see how ChatGPT creates those prompts and what we can change to make them better. Okay, let's get started now. Number 1 is something that I already created this is about a YouTuber's journey, right? And this, if you look at it, is very specifically about a YouTuber who's trying to make it. Again, someone like me who's trying to create videos. Hopefully you guys like them and subscribe. And then the second image comes up to be shows like, okay, it's a huge struggle that's happening. This person is trying, obviously broken down, happens a lot of times. And finally, you get a silver play button that is put on the wall. Again, great comics, simple 3 frames. That's what I asked it to do, and it did it perfectly. Let me break down the prompt for you so that you can understand how to do it. There are 3 parts to the prompt. Number 1 is persona. Number 2 is image generation. And number 3 is story generation. Now, the first part is I'm simply giving it a persona to have an in-depth knowledge of all the comic styles and also referencing some of the comics that I know about, such as Dilbert, Garfield, and all. Second, it's image generation. Very specifically, I've done 3 important things. Utilize the same seed from the first frame. Seed is something that helps DALL-E create consistent images. Second, make sure to create each frame separately so that we don't have bad quality images. Because I saw that, if you see Disney's image, it wasn't that great. So separate images, much higher quality. You can utilize that and put that on Canva. And finally, just like, what kind of style you want to use, illustration, photo, or anything else. Finally, what we are talking about is story creation. I don't want to write a huge story for a simple comic strip. So I ask ChatGPT itself to create the story within the same prompt. So it can create the right amount of story, it can create the characters, and it can create a story that works well for a comic strip that can be read and understood without any dialogues. So that's why if you see, there are no dialogue bubbles in any of the comic strips that I showed you, and that's how we're going to keep it. Okay, so for the sample, I'm going to use this chart itself where I created the YouTuber's journey, and I'm just going to ask it to create a very simple new story. Okay, it is flying. Okay, and let's see what it comes up with. Now it should create a story as it does and create the image frames of how it will look like, and finally create each image. And as soon as it's done, I'll show you how the images look like and how it can do. So if you can see how you can see ChatGPT working on creating the story. It creates a simple story, it creates the narrative, and then finally it will start with the image generation. So it's starting with image generation for the first frame, and very simply it describes like how the place should look like and everything, and then it goes ahead and creates the first image for frame 1. Let's see what it comes up with. I'll probably pause the video here and wait for all 3 images to come, and then we can discuss how they look together. Okay, so let's look at all the 3 images. This is the first one. It looks so good, like really, really amazing, like a young kid trying to see a feather, and then you can see like, the young kid's sense of wonder upon. Now, the second image is a lot different because the clothes have changed and everything else, and it creates an image where he's still holding the feather and goes up. And finally, again, it's now in the air and trying to create. Now, the only thing that's different is like the style of illustration that it is looking at. It's looking at 3 different illustrations. And what I do is I'll just simply say, generate a single comic strip with 3:1 format for story. in Disney style, right? And let's see what it comes up with. Because when you have three different kinds of images, I think it would also be because I have not mentioned it's like an illustration photo like an anime style. So you see Brandy, that's one. Now let's see what it comes up with, right? Again, it's a simple same thing, but it's going to create it in one shot. So the style should be more consistent. Now, one thing till it creates the images, what I want to mention is again, utilizing LLMs to create comics, obviously, is a lot about iteration because you can't get this final consistency every time. A lot of people have tried to create that same format by utilizing the same seed, but the consistency is still not there. I'm pretty sure by the time we reach Dali, we would already have that. So let's see what it comes up in. Now, if you look at this comic strip, which I also created in a simple 3x1 panel, you can see it's much better. It's amazingly beautiful, imprinted and pasted in your notes or do anything with it. I didn't want to. Now, again, go ahead. The prompt is in the description. If you are a kid, please go ahead and try it out with your friends and everyone. And if you're a parent, you can utilize this for anything else that you want to for your own stories and create your own for all I know. And if you do, please do remember me, like and subscribe to the video. I will see you in the next.